Okay guys, bus to Stamford Bridge is coming soon for this trip away. Did the job against Liverpool. Certainly could have played better, but you know, we're through, so that's what matters. And we're taking on a team, a manager, who have been before at this stage to reach Champions League finals in English. Pep, for some reason, continentally, he can get a semi on. He can quite easily get a semi on, in fact. He just struggles to reach that next stage before he can actually do the finish. What's the other word? The climax that way is. He just struggles to climax for some reason, Pep in continental competitions. So we just want to cut him off early again. He just seems to struggle to climax. I don't know what it is, okay? So we like to climax. We did it last year. Let's go there. Let's get the job done against Pep. We know he doesn't like this sort of stuff. And let's reach another Champions League final. Another climax, boys. Come on.
Looking for trouble and fights, but you found me. No, I'm a screw up, but baby, I'm glad you're someone to rely on, someone to rely on. No, I'm a screw up, but baby, I could be someone to rely on, someone to rely on, someone to rely on.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 176 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode is the semi-finals for the Champions League in 2036, and we are taking on Pep Guardiola's Chelsea. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated, but not much has happened off the back of the quarterfinals against Liverpool in yesterday's episode. If you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. I did forget to mention at the end of that how we had got on domestically in between those legs against Liverpool, because of course we did have a Super Cup against HK. Thankfully, we did get the job done. Went down early in this one, but Narek struck back not too long after that, and then off the bench it was Rune Bello who scored the goal to make sure that that one did not go to extra time, which was very, very much appreciated, even with our backup team. And we picked up our second domestic trophy for the season before that 1-1 draw away from home at Anfield, that late Benvenu Bayer goal, which did make sure that we made our way through to the semi-finals, despite the fact that Liverpool had gone down to 10 men at that stage. We did leave that quite late, but thankfully we are through to the Champions League semi-finals yet again, and that means that we are taking on Pep Guardiola's Chelsea, a team who we did beat to reach our first Champions League final all the way back 4 seasons ago, back in 2033. The other semi-final is between two English teams as well, Arsenal and Manchester United. And at the halfway stage, Arsenal do have a 1-0 lead after that first leg at the Emirates. We'll be quite confident going into a final against Arsenal, of course, after we beat them 5-1 right at the start of this European season in the UEFA Super Cup. But today we are taking on Pep Guardiola's Chelsea. As I said, we have beaten these guys before, back when we did make our first Champions League final, playing a 4-3-3, very similar formation to what we do have here at Volsungur, but some quite good players. Still got the likes of Ortega in goal, as I mentioned yesterday, probably one of the best goalkeepers in the world in this save universe. Reece James at the back, as well as that they do have Gravenberch in the midfield, and their front three quite strong as well. Sagnier, Foden and Gutierrez. Quite a strong Chelsea team here currently, finding themselves second in the Premier League, albeit 8 points behind a Manchester United team who do look quite dominant in England at this point of the save. But as I said, not much has happened off the back of yesterday's episode, and thankfully no more injuries as well. So we're pretty much going to get straight into the action. Hopefully we can once again get one over on Pep Guardiola, and we'll come back shortly from Stamford Bridge as we try and make our way through to a 4th Champions League final as we play the first leg of the semi-final. And here are the team sheets for this first leg at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea looking a little bit different, both formation-wise and personnel, to what we did see before on the club info page. A very strong bench there that could be interesting late on in this game. We are exactly the same as we were against Liverpool yesterday, and hopefully, as I said, we can get a decent result here away from home to take back to Iceland and hopefully reach our 4th straight Champions League final. And 5 minutes into this one, we have our first highlight, a corner in our favour. Filippo Donelli gets a header off somehow. That stays out of the goal. Big save there from Ortega. Might have taken another deflection. Benvenu Bayer will win us yet another corner, but that's a good early chance for us there. Unfortunately, somehow, that ball doesn't find its way into the back of the net yet again. Donelli gets his head on the end of that, but another save from Ortega keeps it 0-0 after 7 minutes, and we are back down the other end now for a throw-in, but we are in possession as we look to mount some early pressure here on Pep's Chelsea. As I said, a team who we have done quite well against in the past. Agatigere, tight angle actually running around the goalkeeper, but misses the target, so a few big chances early there. Still 0-0 at the 10-minute mark. And we go forward to the 14-minute mark for our next highlight. Was about to encourage the boys, but we will wait until this free kick does take place. But early stages, we are holding on to possession well, and hopefully we can build some good pressure here on Chelsea. Interesting there from Ortega, comes out and scissor kicks that away, but we do get the ball back there, and it is Bayer who is on the ball. That big late goal yesterday, which did make sure we did not have to take that game against Liverpool to extra time, and we start to build here inside the final third of Chelsea. Agatigere right on the edge of the box. We'll play that to Radenko Krolo, and we do camp here inside the Chelsea half. Doumbia might be offside, but plays the ball into the mixer. Saki can't get on the end of it, though. That might have been a chance, not too sure. They do clear it, and Chelsea have a chance down the other end. Manning will try and chip Vollen. That one goes just over the bar. So Chelsea nearly get on the score sheet there. Still 0-0 at the 16-minute mark. And very shortly off the back of that previous highlight, we do have a goal kick, and we look to play out from the back. We are just passing it around here in defence under a little bit of pressure, but thankfully we do eventually get the ball forward, trying to pick out Adam Saki, but can't quite link up. Hopefully he continues his good form that he has found since that second leg against Lille, but Chelsea will clear this deep. Hopefully we win that. Radenko Krolo, though, with a missed here, and Filippo Dinelli very untidy at the back, but that is a big save there on the shot from Gutierrez from Cal Wallen. The best chance of the game so far, I think that is fair to say, but big save there from Big Cal, and we do deal with the subsequent corner, and that should hopefully keep it at 0-0 here coming up to the 20-minute mark. Indeed it does, as Cal claims that ball. 0-0 after 19 minutes. And just shy of the half-hour mark, it is a free kick here for Chelsea. Manning gets a shot off, but good clearance off the line there from Radenko Krolo. There, Manning again with a chance with his head, just misses the target. To Chelsea start to put some pressure on, but still 0-0 after half an hour. And not too long before half-time, we do have a corner here, as Doumbia will put this into the mixer. Can't quite pick out Dinelli there at the near post, but we do get possession back here. Doumbia just recycles that to Busaroge. Bayer has picked up an orange injury. Good chance there for Saki, but that's a little bit of a poor shot there. Simple enough save for Ortega. We'll see what Bayer does look like come half-time if we do need to take him off, but we do have 3 minutes now of injury time, and in that 3 minutes there is a throw-in to Chelsea. Been a pretty even first half so far. Good patches for both teams, and Ferreira puts the ball there into the mixer, but Ali Ramadan will clear that, and Bamba now makes his way down the right-hand side. Kai Havertz is on the field. He might have come on for someone, because I did think he started from the bench, and we do look to play out from the back here. Cal Vollen to Ramadan, back to Filippo Dinelli. That's a really poor pass, and Gutierrez rockets that into the top left corner. That is really poor, that from Filippo Dinelli. And right before half-time in this away leg, we've given Chelsea a 1-0 lead, looking to play out from the back. They put enough pressure on us there, picked the wrong option, trying to pick out Busaroge, and Gutierrez. Cal Wallen was not positioned well to make that save, and it does look like off the back of that error, we are going into the sheds 1-0 down here at Stamford Bridge. A pretty even first half, albeit throughout the latter stages of it, Chelsea did get on top of us, so arguably they deserved that lead, but the way that we gave it up, a little bit disappointing. It is a potential lower leg injury here for Benvenu Bayer, so I think we'll play it safe, take him off, and do what we did at the later stages of the Champions League last season. Pasicki to come on for him, and everyone else will switch forwards. The Gay into the box-to-box, and Doumbia up to the Mazzala, and we'll tell the boys we need to be a little bit better here in the second half, not playing badly, but we are 1-0 down. And just 1 minute into the second half, we do have an early corner, and Pasicki is there at the near post into the top right corner. Immediate bench impact there, and we grab an equaliser, and that is a very relieving equaliser as well, considering how we did give up that goal to Chelsea late in the first half. Doumbia picks out Pasicki, and it's a pinpoint header into the top right corner, and just like that, back at all square, 1-1 here early in the second half. And going forward to the 54-minute mark for our next highlight, Chelsea themselves now are looking to play out from the back, off the back of a goal kick, but we are now all locked up here in the first leg of the semi-final. This would be a pretty decent result to take back to Iceland for that second leg, as Chelsea are still looking to play out from the back. Radenko Krolo has just picked up a yellow card. We'll see if we need to change that soon, if we bring on someone like Pedro Lemos, who can be quite good. Manning there does get a shot off, but thankfully blocked in pretty close proximity. And Manning there with a header does just go over the bar. I think we might actually play things safe here and take Prolo off because Pedro Lemos is looking quite good as a backup right back. So we'll make that change just to make sure that we have a right back who doesn't have to ease off tackles. Still 1-1 with 35 minutes left. And we go forward now to just past the hour mark for our next highlight. We are in position here looking to just get inside the Chelsea half. Pedro Lemos fresh on the pitch there, plays that up to Agatigere, and now Lemos is inside the final third. Good little bit of movement there from Pedro Lemos. Will put a ball into the mix, so that's a terrible mistake there from Ortega, and Chelsea will gift us a goal back after that one we gave them right before halftime, and that could be huge. That's a big mistake there from one of the best, if not the best goalkeeper in the world. That's just poor from him there, and Adam Saki with the simple tap-in, albeit put a bit of power on it, into the left corner, 2-1 Volsungur with 25 minutes left. And we go forward now to the 71-minute mark. Lassana Doumbia playing okay, but is down to a red heart, so we'll make our last substitution with this lead, Bruno Costa, to come on for him to play as a Mazzala. And 20 minutes left. We might just start to do some of our time-wasting stuff here because this would be a nice result to take back to Iceland 2-1 at the 70-minute mark. And very shortly off the back of that substitution, it is Chelsea here with a corner. Kai Havertz with a header comes off the post, and they do still have possession here just outside the box. João Felix has also come off the bench, as I mentioned pre-match. Chelsea with a very strong bench, and Sagne now inside the box. What can he do? Just on the edge of it now is a foul there from Luis Herrera. We might just try and change something here to see if we can stop this highlight, but I don't know what there is to change, so we'll just let things play out here at the 72-minute mark. They put a ball into the mixer. Ali Ramadan will clear that away. They are still on the attack here though. Havertz inside the box there, back for Gravenberch, but we finally deal with that danger. Still 2-1 up with just under 20 minutes left now. And just about to enter the last 10 minutes of this one. We'll probably start time wasting a bit more heavily off the back of this highlight. They were briefly on the attack there, were Chelsea off the back of that frame, which we did have, but Carl Wallen will claim that, and hopefully at the very least we can see out this 2-1 scoreline. And there's a good chance here for Saki to potentially make it 3-1, but that shot is pretty much straight into the path of Ortega. We'll try and play this out from the back, and this time we'll link up with a teammate that will be a little bit of a settler for him after giving up that goal. But with 10 minutes left, as we do start to time waste a little bit more, we still have our 2-1 lead. And just coming up towards injury time in this one, still 2-1 in our favour. A big result this would be away at Stamford Bridge. 4 minutes of added time, which we are now halfway through. Very even game, but we do pick up a 2-1 when we kind of gifted each other a goal there in both halves, but the goal that counted in the end was that one early in the second half from set piece to Elaine Basicki from a corner. Saki picking up on that error from Ortega in goal from Chelsea, and in the first half in injury time it was Guti Arias on the error from Filippo Dinelli, but not too disappointed with that. We really could have a 2-0 lead going into that home league, but 2-1 we will absolutely take, and hopefully at the very least we can pick up a draw there at my arena and make our way through to yet another Champions League final. That's a big win away from home and hopefully puts us in a strong position to see this out in the second leg. I don't think the second leg of that Arsenal-Man United game is before ours either, so as long as there's no injury concerns or big news updates, I think we'll just come straight back for that second leg. So hopefully we'll see you shortly and close this out with that 2-1 lead. And we are back with the second leg, and here are the team sheets. We have gone with exactly the same lineup as we did in that first leg. No new injury concerns, which is very nice indeed. Chelsea have changed things up a little bit personnel-wise. Havertz, Felix, both in there, as well as Reece James. All those players did not start that first leg, and hopefully we can see out our lead here at home, 2-1 up as we start the second leg. And we go forward to the 7-minute mark for our first highlight of the second leg. We look to play out from the back here, holding possession well like we did early in that away leg at Stamford Bridge. An early chance here for Adam Saki. Will try and take this around the goalkeeper. Good block there from Ramos, and that keeps it at 2-1 on aggregate after 10 minutes of the second leg. And about 10 minutes off the back of that first highlight, down the other end here for a Chelsea corner. Basaro Gay gets on the end of it though, and Adam Saki with a chance on the counter-attack. I think that will be Agatigere in support with him, but we do some short passing here, and Saki starts to drive forward. Agatigere, good slide tackle there though from Ramos just outside the box, and it will get Chelsea possession back here. They do need to win the second leg just to take it to extra time, but they clear that straight into the path of Radenko Krolo. Adam Saki here just outside the box. Dumbia, Mizkic, good short passing. Saki with a shot there off a deflection from a Chelsea tackle, but it does come off the woodwork. Big chance, but we are still a goal up here 20 minutes into the second leg. And just shy of the half-hour mark, we have another highlight here. Things are going well so far. Chelsea yet to hit the target, albeit we do give possession away there, and this might be a chance for the Blues to get on the front foot. Nice ball forward there for Gutierrez, but there's a really good save from Volsungur, keeps it at 2-1, 30 minutes through the second leg. And right before half-time, it is Chelsea here on the ball. Hopefully, we don't gift them a goal like we did in the latter stages of the first half at Stamford Bridge, but thankfully we do win possession there and look to play out from the back. Lassana Doumbia will try and switch this out to Mizkic. Reece James will head this back, but it falls straight into the path of Adam Saki. Will boot that into the top left corner this time. It's Chelsea gifting us a goal in the first half. There has been a lot of that happening in this tie, of course, one each in the first leg, and this time Reece James just undercooked that header back to Ortega. Adam Saki pounces, and that should give us a 2-goal cushion on aggregate going into the second half in a very, very strong position now going into it. And we are now 3-1 up on aggregate, 1-0 up on the day. And based on those stats, hard to argue we did not deserve some sort of lead there in the first half of the second leg. We do have a few players out there who are struggling a little bit though, so I think we'll make those changes now just to play things safe. We have Luis Herrera, who is on a 6.4. What we might do is bring on Pedro Lemos for him, switch out Radenko Krolo to left back. I think that's our strongest wing back combination with Herrera off, and also do that change we did in the latter stages of the last game. Basicki to come on for Bayer and make Gay go forward to box, Dumbia to the Mazzala, and hopefully we can see this out now, 2 goals up with 45 minutes left of the semi-final. And about 10 minutes into the second half, an early free kick here for Chelsea. Gutierrez forces a decent save there out of Volsungur. We'll praise the boys, see if that stops this corner. Unfortunately, it does not, so Chelsea might have another chance here from set piece, but thankfully Eduardo's header goes over the bar. We are still 2 goals up, 10 minutes into the second half. And just about into the last 20 minutes of this one, we have a corner. Denali gets his head on the end of that, just goes wide. That surely would have sealed things, but with just about 20 minutes left, still up by 2 goals. And just about to enter the last 10 minutes of this Champions League semi-final, still 2 goals up. We did start doing some time-wasting stuff from the 15-minute to go mark, and Ognar Mizkic now down to a red heart on a 6.4. Jonah to come on for him, our last sub. 3-1 up with 10 minutes left. And at the 84-minute mark, we do look to play out from the back there. We head that ball back to Volsungur, and hopefully we can hold on here to this 2-goal cushion and make sure we reach our 4th straight Champions League final. That's a poor pass there though, that time from Basicki. Chelsea on the attack, and that will go in the back of the net there from Bonfanti. Just need to check here for an offside. One of the Chelsea players definitely was, but not sure if that was the player involved in the goal. And unfortunately, another mistake by a player leads to a opposition goal, and this time it was Alain Basicki. Gravenberch played that one forward to Bonfanti. Gets a bit of help from the underside of the crossbar, but it finds the back of the net, and that will make it 3-2 here. Going into the last 6 minutes of this one, you can see there Bonfanti is onside. The Chelsea striker probably wasn't, but he was not involved apparently, and I think we are now going to start time wasting frequently, or at least a little bit now, also turning off playing for set pieces just for these last few minutes, and we'll see if there's anything else we can do. I think that might be about it, and hopefully that was the last highlight of this semi-final. We'll see how much extra time we do have. As you can tell by the stats, we have definitely outplayed Chelsea in this second leg. There are 3 minutes of injury time. We are now very close to reaching full time, and thankfully that was the last highlight. We nearly throw it away there. We did give Chelsea a few goals in that one, but they also gifted a few back. That big strike was in the first leg by Alain Basicki from a corner. That was the decisive goal, and that means that we do pick up a 3-2 win on aggregate, and yet again are making the Champions League final for a 4th straight season. Played fairly well throughout those 2 legs. As I said, both teams did give the opposition a few goals there, but that strike from set piece in the first leg through Alain Basicki is the key goal, and it sends us to our 4th straight Champions League final. We'll come back shortly and see if it's going to be Arsenal for the first time in a Champions League final, or for the third straight season, if it is Volsungur versus Manchester United. And we've gone for today off the back of that win over Chelsea in the semi-final. Before we do reveal who we are playing in the Champions League final in tomorrow's episode, quick club update in terms of the worldwide brand here at Volsungur, #brand. We have also formed a partnership now with Gumbo Osaka in Japan, which should hopefully help our merchandise sales in Asia, as well as, of course, what we did about 6 months ago now with the Vancouver Whitecaps in Canada, as well as the US with the MLS as well. But we do know who we are playing in this season's Champions League final, and that is because Manchester United have just done enough there to turn things around in the second leg. A very close tie, but they go through 5-4 on aggregate off the back of a 5-3 win in that second leg at Old Trafford. Arsenal nearly do enough there to make their way through to a Champions League final, but for the third straight season, it is going to be Volsungur versus Manchester United. And of course, we are locked up at 1 apiece after the past 2 seasons as well in Champions League finals against Man United, so it will be the rubber match as well against the team who, as we saw earlier, doing quite a good job these days in the Premier League. They are 4 points clear of Manchester City, albeit Man City do have a game in hand, but it does look like one of the Manchester clubs is going to win the Premier League. But Man United are in pole position yet again, and it should be a very interesting clash for the third straight season against Manchester United, looking very similar to how they have looked in the past 2 Champions League finals. Of course, they do usually put our former goalkeeper Joe Corcoran in goal, despite the fact that Ismail Adine is quite a good goalkeeper himself. I'd argue he's a lot better than Joe Corcoran, but for whatever reason, Ole does usually go for Joe Corcoran in goal against us. But we'll see if he does the same tomorrow for the third straight Champions League final. If you did enjoy that win today over Chelsea in the semi, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Tomorrow we'll do our end of European season roundup and then play the Champions League final, our 4th straight one, and can we win it for the 2nd straight season over Manchester United. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.